Have you noticed how anxiety has become the new normal? Everyone talks about productivity, goals, grind culture, but no one tells you what to do when your mind wakes you up at 3 a.m., screaming that everything is falling apart, for no reason. Worse, they make it seem like you're the problem, that you're weak, overreacting, too sensitive. But what if I told you this anxiety that paralyzes you isn't a flaw? It's a defense system gone rogue. And yes, you can get out of it. No magic pills, no miracle routines, and no need to become a monk in the mountains. What you're about to hear isn't another shallow pep talk. This is a practical guide for those tired of surviving with a mind at war. We're diving deep into how your brain creates this constant state of alert, why your thoughts spiral toward worst-case scenarios, and how 3 pillars, philosophy, psychology, and spirituality, can help you break that cycle with clarity and confidence. This isn't about killing anxiety. It's about stopping it from running the show. If you've tried everything and still feel stuck inside, take a deep breath, because maybe what you really need isn't more effort. It's a new way of seeing. Some days your body's doing its thing, smiling, working, getting stuff done, but your mind is waging a silent war. It feels like something bad is about to happen. Even when everything seems fine, your heart races, your breath shortens, your stomach knots up. And logically, you tell yourself there's no reason to panic, but anxiety doesn't speak logic. It speaks through sensations. It's a war no one sees, but one you carry alone. And the worst part? Almost nobody talks about it honestly. The trickiest kind of anxiety is the functional one. You're productive, you get things done, but you feel exhausted beyond reason. That's because your nervous system is stuck in survival mode. It's like driving with your foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. It messes with your memory, your focus, your patience, and because we've normalized this constant rush, many don't even realize they're anxious. They just think they're busy. But being busy and being at peace are not the same thing. Anxiety is an internal alarm, but like any alarm, it's supposed to go off only when there's danger. The problem? Sometimes, the system malfunctions and goes off over a text, a meeting, a vague worry. Your mind isn't broken. It's trying to protect you. It's just stuck in overdrive. And that internal alarm can become your enemy when it starts controlling your life instead of keeping you safe. Some try to outrun anxiety with packed schedules, more caffeine, more distraction. But ignoring it is like throwing a blanket over a fire alarm. The sound is still there, just muffled. That's where practices like mindfulness, breathwork, and meditation come in, not as trends, but as tools to bring you back to the present. Because the now is the only place anxiety doesn't thrive. It lives in the what-ifs, but presence, real, conscious presence, melts that. This war inside doesn't define who you are. It's a reflection of how your system has learned to interpret the world. And yes, you can rewire that. But to do that, first we need to understand how the brain behind the anxiety actually works. Think of your amygdala as an overzealous bodyguard. Its job? Detect threats and keep you safe. But in people with chronic anxiety, that bodyguard starts seeing danger in shadows. Missed text? Threat. Awkward silence in a meeting? Threat. The amygdala can't distinguish between a tiger in the jungle and a late-night email, so it sounds the alarm. And that alarm activates your fight or flight system, even when you're just sitting on your couch. Next comes the sympathetic nervous system. It floods your body with stress hormones, makes your heart race, your muscles tense, your digestion pause. Back in the day, this helped you run from predators. Now, it activates over a comment on social media. Your body's reacting as if your survival is on the line, every single day. And that long-term stress creates fatigue, memory problems, emotional instability. It's not weakness, it's biology, and it needs recalibration. Then there's the mind's way of feeding anxiety. Distorted thinking. A single thought becomes truth. They're mad at me. I'll mess this up. The brain filters everything through fear. Psychologists call this a negativity bias. But here's the good news. You can challenge those thoughts. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, uses techniques like evidence questioning to help you break the cycle. Ask yourself, is this true? What else could this mean? Doing this rewires your thinking patterns. Try this. The next time you assume the worst, pause. Ask, do I have actual proof this will happen? Or even, if the worst happens, can I handle it? These small mindset shifts slowly train the brain to stop spiraling. It's not about being unrealistically positive. It's about being real, grounded, aware. Psychology gives you tools to work with your mind, not be ruled by it. And as you begin to shift those thought patterns, ancient philosophies like Stoicism offer frameworks to help you stay steady, not by changing the world, but by changing how you show up in it. There's a lot in life you simply don't control, and that's okay. Stoic philosophy begins with that truth and builds peace from it. It's not about passivity, it's about clarity. You're stuck in traffic. You can panic, curse, clench your fists, or you can observe your mind, breathe, and choose your response. The traffic remains, but your experience changes. That shift, that's power. Epictetus once said, "It's not events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretations of them." That one line contains a whole mental reset. It teaches you to divide your world into two parts, what you control and what you don't. Your thoughts, your reactions, that's your zone. Other people's opinions, past mistakes, the weather, not your lane. When you honor that boundary, anxiety starts to loosen its grip, because you're no longer trying to bend the world to your will. You're mastering your inner response to it. Let's get practical. Start a morning Stoic journal. Write down 3 things you can control today, and 3 things you can't. Just that. It trains your mind to release what weighs it down. Another tool? Repeat quietly to yourself during stressful moments. This isn't mine to carry. It sounds simple, but it's not. It's discipline. And over time, that discipline becomes inner strength. Don't mistake Stoicism for coldness. True Stoicism makes you more present, more intentional, more compassionate. You stop reacting out of fear or pride. You start responding with awareness, with values, with clarity. That's mindfulness in action. That's self-knowledge on a daily level. It's not about escaping feelings. It's about no longer being consumed by them. The Stoic path isn't about detachment. It's about deep connection to what matters. And to stay centered like that, especially in a chaotic world, you need somewhere to return to, a place of stillness within. Let's talk about that place. There's a place inside you where everything is quiet, not empty, still. Even when thoughts are racing, that part of you watches calmly. That space is real. It's not abstract. And it doesn't require candles, mantras, or a pilgrimage to find. Sometimes it just takes 5 minutes, closed eyes, deep breath, and the willingness to not run from yourself. That space is your home. You just forgot the way back. Spirituality, in this sense, isn't about religion. It's about direct experience. It's realizing you are not your thoughts. You observe them. You feel anxiety, yes, but you are not anxiety. That changes everything. Meditation, silent walks, conscious breathing, they aren't woo-woo. They're practical doorways into this space. Books like The Power of Now or A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle aren't philosophy. They're invitations to come back to yourself. Some people flinch at the word spirituality. They think it's a form of escape. But real spirituality is the opposite. It's facing life with full presence. It's stepping out of mental noise and reconnecting with consciousness. When you realize you can sit with yourself without judgment or panic, that's power, that's freedom, and that's when anxiety starts to lose its fuel. Try this. Sit in silence for 5 minutes. Watch your thoughts float by like clouds. Don't stop them. Just watch. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently return to your breath. That's meditation. That's presence. Do this daily, and you'll build roots. Roots that anchor you when everything else feels like a storm. Spirituality isn't a luxury. It's a necessity in a world that's constantly pulling your attention away from yourself. And when you combine that silence with the groundedness of Stoicism and the tools of psychology, something truly powerful begins to shift. There's no one-size-fits-all solution for anxiety, but there is a direction. Philosophy, psychology, and spirituality are 3 distinct paths, that when walked together, form something greater than the sum of their parts. Philosophy brings clarity. Psychology brings structure. Spirituality brings peace. Alone, they help. Together, they transform. Think of it like a tripod. Take one leg away, and everything falls. Pure logic without interconnection is hollow. Pure emotion without understanding becomes chaos. Blind faith without self-awareness becomes avoidance. But when you blend mindful presence, emotional tools, and philosophical grounding, you stop reacting and start responding. Not perfectly, but intentionally. Here's an example. You're afraid to speak up in a meeting. Psychology helps you spot the automatic thought. They'll judge me. Philosophy reminds you that other people's opinions are outside your control. Spirituality grounds you in the moment, reminding you, you're not your fear, you're the one who sees it. That fusion creates choice. And with choice comes power. Want to go deeper? Read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, The Art of Loving by Erich Fromm, Wherever You Go, There You Are by Jon Kabat-Zinn. But more than reading, practice. Use books as mirrors, not distractions. Make your mind a lab. Make your body a temple. Make your daily life a practice ground for consciousness. Because maybe anxiety isn't something to eliminate, maybe it's something to learn from. So ask yourself, what if anxiety isn't the enemy? What if it's a sign you're ready to live differently? What if peace isn't about never feeling fear, but about no longer fearing fear itself? Anxiety doesn't have to be a monster hiding under your bed. It can be a messenger, a signal that it's time to come home to yourself. The question now is, what will you do with everything you've just learned? Will it be just another video, or the beginning of a new way of living? Can you picture your life with more clarity, more presence, more lightness? Not because all your problems are gone, but because you finally stopped letting anxiety run the show. So tell me, what will you start doing differently today? What thought are you finally ready to challenge? Drop your reflections in the comments. And if you want to keep going deeper into this journey of self-knowledge, emotional awareness, and conscious living, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because every week there's something here to remind you. Peace isn't luck, it's practice, and it's yours.